So what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is other Ryan here.
Hey everyone, Razbowski here.
What's going on, guys? Dorko here.
And welcome back, guys, to another Theory Thursday. So this one is going to be the finale before Sister Location drops just tomorrow. We was going to discuss about the spoilers and the characters' bios, but that is really spoiling the game just before it comes out. So instead, we thought it would be great to discuss our hopes, expectations, and just really what we want to see in Sister Location. It's going to be a fantastic game. There's going to be a lot to it. And hey, I mean, we might get some right, we might get some wrong, but I mean, it's just going to build the hype, guys. So let's get straight into this. So it's definitely worth starting, guys, with the most important question for this episode. What do we all want to see? This game has been teased that it's completely new. There's new mechanics, and Scott personally is worried. I don't think he needs to be worried at all. So guys, what do you actually expect, and what would you love to see Sister Location provide for us?
This is a tough one because we've been over so much in the past Theory Thursdays that I don't know. I think what I would like to see is just what Scott does best, pretty much. I think if we had the same atmosphere that Five Nights at Freddy's 1 brought us, it would be absolutely incredible. I mean, just that alone, the atmosphere there alone is enough to make anyone chatter their teeth and bite their nails. I'd just like to see, I don't know, a story-driven game. I'd like to see cutscenes. That's what I would like to see.
Absolutely.
Like in between nights, not like Final Nights Redux style, you know, like proper, like animated things. Something that really teases the story off, or maybe there's Easter eggs or something like that. I'll just, whatever Five Nights at Freddy's does best, pretty much Easter eggs, that's what I want to see. I just want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, totally 100% agree. I want that horror atmosphere. I want that nail-biting, hair standing on end. I want those nipple-tingling moments where you're so damn frightened that you're just like, I can't play this anymore, but you're gonna keep playing it because you want that sweet, juicy story. And I want the ending to have suspense. I want it to be solved in a way that it doesn't require a sequel, but at the same time something that teases or hints towards a continuation of the story. I think that would be fantastic.
I want some of the lore solved, but not all of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we're going to get some more information on Purple Man because of the William Afton teasing in the source code. Obviously, I think we're going to get some more lore on the background of the Sister Location animatronics. Why are they crazy? And I want to know about Ennard as well. I think Ennard to me is the most interesting character. Ennard and Baby are the most interesting characters for me, and I'd like some background info on where Ennard came from. Why is it all jacked up and just horrible? This game is the one I've been most excited about compared to all the other games, mainly because it's been like a year since a main FNAF game has been. So we've had a year to wait for this game, and it's built up the hype.
It's all these little things that are really starting to add up now. Like, for example, at the end of FNAF World on the update 2, we had Baby physically killing the creator. This doesn't really make sense why this would happen. I think it's some form of hint as to maybe what happened to these characters in the past in a very vague way. We don't understand entirely what that was meant to mean. What I really want to see from this is what Scott's done with the other ones as well. It's just like when the story is given to us over the phone calls, it's always a one-sided story. And I want to find those Easter eggs. I want to find maybe clickable, maybe like we could get these certain items that if we click on them, we might get a flashback with some echoes. Maybe we might hear some sound effects that will bring a different side of the story in. Maybe we'll learn what happened to make these animatronics go wrong, or the moment they went wrong and the reactions of the people, maybe of the children. I think this time round we're going to be getting a lot more cutscenes as well, which is going to direct us along a much more set path, I'd say, to the story, but still those Easter eggs that Scott has always included in every single game. I mean, it's just so obvious that there's going to be more of those again, and that will do nothing but expand on the bigger picture. So even if on the surface the Sister Location appears to be completely explained through the cutscenes, through the story, and we know the fates of maybe the characters towards the end, there might be some small Easter eggs. For example, we still don't know who this entrepreneur was. We never really got too much backstory besides a brief kind of look at the gas leaks, what happened, the fact that this guy was responsible or put some money into this. It's just all these things. Like, why were these characters wheeled off to begin with things over their faces? Where did they get taken to? Really, what did the establishment look like before things went wrong?
Scott does this really well, where because he doesn't want to just complete the game, because then the hype will just completely die for it. Like, we all know what happens, that's it, end of story kind of thing. But I think what he does best is he always leaves it open-ended for you to put your own ideas in there. So I think he will, like Rad said, he'll complete it in such a way where you'll be satisfied, but at the same time you'll still want to discuss further as to what happens after, maybe, or what happened before. Because we know about the obviously gas leaks. We don't know if that was before or after, or if we're playing before or after. Is that going to be coming at the start of the game, or is that going to be at the end and then carried on further to show what happens then, you know, etc., etc. He's going to make it awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to, we're going to be looking at other points of view as well, which we've never had before. Because we've got the voice actors for the animatronics now, then we're actually going to hear from their point of view. Don't hold it against us, for instance. It's a very, very interesting line. We've talked about this so much, but because this is a recap episode, it's going to be amazing to see how they feel, what's been going on since they've been trapped inside the body. Was there a gap in between where they just floated around? What is their purpose for attacking us? Is it for revenge? Is it because they're scared and alone? Is it because they are physically murderers at this point? It's going to be great to see that point of view, and I think it's a genius move from Scott because it's really taking it to the next level of storytelling.
Because all we got last time to solve lore was mini games and phone calls. And that wasn't really much because we just got a one-sided view, and it's always been Phone Guy. We know Phone Guy's like the biggest liar out there. He tries to put things under the carpet, so we haven't got a really accurate view on the story yet. So I think if we've got another side to the story, like the actual animatronics, something's happened to them, and now we get to finally hear what they want to tell us. I think that's going to give us a two-sided view, because I think there's going to be a Phone Guy in this, like a helper. But I think it's going to be like two sides where they're just going to like battle each other, if that makes sense, with story lore.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not all kind of a one-way pathing. We're going to have these different routes coming in, yeah.
So next we're going to be discussing our hopes for the storyline and potential ending. How do you want it to end off, guys? Do you have any thoughts and feelings on it? Or how do you think the story might go?
Exactly what we just discussed about two different sides. I think there's going to be possibly two endings, a good ending or a bad ending. Whether we choose to do the good side, like maybe help the animatronics, or choose to the bad side, like do something else with the Phone Guy, if that makes sense. And I think there's going to be two different endings, possibly a secret ending, kind of like FNAF 3, where we had to do tasks to get the good ending, or if we did nothing, we just get the bad ending, if that makes sense. So
I think maybe it's going to be a case of like, if we beat the game without discovering maybe these secrets or something, perhaps we'll have to discover like one a night, and we'll learn as we're playing. Once, maybe all the nights will be displayed so we can choose from them, and there'll be like a tick or something, and once we've found them all, then we unlock the secret ending. Maybe the first ending might tell what appears to be the complete story, and it might feel like, you know, everything's been kind of put to rest, and it's like almost reading a newspaper, and it's actual factual for once. But maybe if there is a secret ending, it might bring up those things that are spoken about in the original ending and rework them a little bit from a different person's perspective, because we have to remember that's likely what's going to happen here, guys. It might be through the perspective of ourselves, but whatever the way, the ending is going to be portrayed either through the animatronics' eyes, or maybe the villain's eyes of the story, or maybe even the night guy's eyes. So, you know, one of three perspectives is only going to be explained, and it's going to leave two more, or possibly even more, to kind of cover their own versions of this story. So I'm hoping that there's going to be an original ending followed up by possibly that leaving on a cliffhanger to tease a secret ending. And I think this leaves a lot of room then for possibly a sequel. And I mean, depending on how this game is actually received, Scott will most likely do the sequel if, of course, it's been received well.
I just wanted to quickly say as well, I don't think he's going to reveal too much, because he's still got the novels to do. He said he's going to do some more books as well. If we already know the story, then what's the point of reading the books if we know what's going to happen, if that makes sense?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then again, he did say like it was in an alternate universe in the other book, so he could do the same thing. I reckon the book could be sister location, but in an alternate universe, probably.
Very true.
Like that. But no, for me personally, I hope that it engages with my emotions, because FNAF 4 was very emotional near the ending. Like, you could see the emotions coming out the brother, how sad he was for doing this to his brother, and like the fact that he pretty much died. I just want to end the game and maybe a blank screen. I just want to be sat there for like 2 minutes in silence, like, wow, that was it. That's all I want, really. That's all I...
Well, you have to think as well, like, in FNAF 4 as well, it was night 6, 7, and I'm not sure if there was anything on the 20 mode, or the nightmare mode. I can't remember what exactly it was called, but you could have ended and stopped at night 5, for example. That would have been it. All you'd have seen was the Bite of 87, or whatever it might be called, guys, okay? Might not be the Bite of 87, but it would have just ended there, and you'd have been like, okay, so that explains that. But then we get the remorse, the different side of the story, and we see a big twist, I guess, almost like a plot twist, and you start seeing more emotions being pulled into this one, and more characters.
It just shows how how good at storytelling he is for us to play a game that is so scary, yet at the ending of it, you have that satisfaction of one beating it, but then you have the satisfaction of the story as well, and then there's enough mystery left in it that we're going to be discussing about it for years to come. The game happened a year ago, and people still don't know the real story. When MatPat put out his theory and everything, Scott said some parts were right, but some parts were wrong, but which parts? That's the thing. Nobody knows, and that's what is great storytelling on Scott's part, is that he has solved the story. It's all in there. We still need more pieces, so it'd be interesting to see if Scott adds in any extra pieces to the sister location that might help us solve the overall story. And there might be something left in there, because we apparently have potentially William Afton in this game that was teased way ago now, so maybe knowing more about William himself, who we suspect to be Purple Guy from the novels, maybe tying them in together will help us solve the rest of the storyline, or maybe the sister location is just going to be a completely different side of things. It's going to be very interesting, and honestly, as long as it's a good story, I don't care. As long as it's a good story, I don't care if it solves anything or if it adds more mystery in there. As long as I'm engaged, as long as I'm satisfied by the end of it, then Scott's done a good job. One point that I did want to bring up was the ending, how Ryan and Dawko were talking about maybe multiple endings and stuff. It would be great if you got to pick a side. I think Dawko was touching on this. It would be great if you had the opportunity to maybe just in your first run, you just escape. It's purely just escaping. Going back through it the second time, maybe you pick up enough information to maybe persuade some of the other characters, whether it's Baby Ennard or that you can help them out. Maybe you can free these characters, kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and in a different sense, because we're going to actually get interaction with the characters. So maybe you pick up a note, or you see a video message, or you hear a tape, and then in what we thought was just a one-sided cutscene before, maybe we get a secret option because we've learned information that we can use at that point. I think that would be amazing. It would really change the way the game has been played, and it gives a replayability value to an extra degree than what we're normally thinking. Multiple choice secret options would be a great way of putting in it, because you wouldn't know that option existed until you played through it again. I think that would be dope as hell.
So the final discussion is, and it's quite simple, are the animatronics in Sister Location going to be evil? What do you think, Ryan?
Okay, I'm going to run through them all now, actually. I'm going to start by saying Baby seems to be pretty sinister. She's at the front. We get the shot of the microphone, things like that. It doesn't feel good, the vibes we're getting from her, especially from the end where she malfunctions. I think that's going to be a sign as to what we might be experiencing. Now, in terms of like the Fun Time gang, they're going to be very unique because they appear to be totally different. You know, we've got like the Bonnie puppet on Freddy's hand, and currently it might be like a split personality thing. We've said this in the past before, like the small Bonnie might even be the terror, and maybe Freddy might be trying to get him back or something. That's something we don't know how that's going to work right now, but I think that might work as two. I think, well, all we know from Freddy really from the past is that he's kind of mindset along this certain path, and he'll always try and kill you. So I think that might be a guaranteed thing, that he might be one of the bad guys alongside Fox as well, because maybe if this game is based in the future, there might be a lot of untouched stuff from the past, and we know those guys had quite a bad name about them from all the jump scares and killings that they were actually apparently doing. I actually think of all the characters, Blora might be a unique one, and why I say this, because we've heard the voice, we've heard the clip where she says the different things, almost like a poem, but there's no real aggression. It's kind of like a calming. It's a difficult one to properly decipher right now, but she doesn't seem as aggressive. I mean, we did have the teaser that says get back on your stage now, so it could go one of two ways, but I think a character I'm gonna say is most likely evil is Ennard.
Oh, definitely. I was just thinking that maybe they're all evil, I would say, but I'd say maybe some of them in their voices help you out with what you're meant to do, kind of thing. Like maybe Blora says, oh, or maybe they're going to trick you in certain ways, where they say, oh, like for example, you know, we're in the breaker room, we're about to break the power, so you go in there, no one's in there, you turn around and then you get jump scared. It'll be good, because obviously this is the first time that voice acting has properly been integrated into a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I think he's going to use that to his advantage in a way where it's like, he's going to like make us feel secure in one way, and then all of a sudden we're going to get jump scared the next. In conclusion, I'll just say that they're most likely all going to be evil.
I think it's going to be the same sort of premise as most of the other games. They're just misunderstood. They're spirits that are scared, and they're put into a place. We're all children before. Like, they're scared, they're away from their mums and dads, and they don't know what's going on. One minute they're a happy little child playing with a balloon, the next minute they're stuffed inside a balloon boy thing. So I would be terrified and very angry if I was Balloon Boy, to be honest. That voice, just no. I think that there will be evil characters, pure evil, but I think most of them will be misunderstood.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be one at least that knows about this and maybe might try and coax us into understanding that they're not just evil, and there is going to be like a misunderstood nature to it.
Yeah. I agree. It's either going to be Baby or Ennard. I think the rest of the characters aren't going to be as important to the storyline because they're the ones that have been shown so much, whether it's in the trailer with Baby's jump scare, or Baby in FNAF World, or Ennard. We've talked about it so much. He's really significant because he's had so much spotlight in the build-up to this game.
I think they're all going to be misunderstood, even Ennard. I think Ennard's got obviously he's got a reason why he's so angry, but I think Ennard's got a grudge and he's angry about it, but he's misunderstood, so he's evil because he's misunderstood, if that makes sense, you know.
I guess that's kind of, that could be like why he's using the mask. That might be like a metaphor for putting the mask on to kind of mask maybe the horrors he's experienced in the past, or something that we're not quite understanding. Yeah,
and I think Baby's going to be the same. I think Baby, like, I remember saying ages ago, we always say this, we think that possibly Ennard is controlling these other animatronics. So you never know. Maybe all the animatronics apart from Baby and Ennard are misunderstood and controlled by them, so that it's not their fault. Don't hold it against us. There must be a reason why they're doing this.
So there we have it, guys. That was a really, really good discussion, actually, the day before Sister Location drops. This has done nothing but, I'm sure, get us all really hyped for the release. And guys, hopefully as well you guys are hyped too, and you did enjoy this final discussion, of course, before Sister Location.
If you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below, and if you're new to any of our channels, why not subscribe for more Sister Location gameplay and other indie games.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. We of course hope you did enjoy, and we will all, of course, see you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?